Right, another Wednesday. Make sure my microphone's actually working this time because you know me, most of the time forget about it. Let's see who we have here in chat. Um, let's see. Ryan, how's it going? Mike C, welcome in, sir. Oh, Stream Elements bot. Gotta make sure that they're here. Who else we got here? I know there's at least a few more of you in stream. It says there's only two, but I know that there's more. Let's just need to let Totally Normal send out a tweet. Ah, there's Chris. Hey, Chris, welcome in. So you guys are like getting that notification I went live, so I gotta let the trickle come in. How's everyone's week been? I apologize for missing last week. I was at a power soccer camp. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time. We didn't have the turnout that we wanted, but we had a really good time. We got a chance to get some able-bodied people in some soccer chairs, give them a chance to try it. That was actually kind of cool. Um, yeah, and we learned some things of what worked, what doesn't work, as far as letting people use the other chairs, us getting equipment to and from places with the trailer. So we did learn from, and the competitive team ended up getting some extra, basically, practices in for 3 days in a row from 5:30 to 7. So that was really awesome and allowed us to work on some of our skills and stuff that we've been missing. So I know many of you have probably saw the image and maybe saw the post about maybe you haven't heard about it. Maybe you've seen it on the news today. There is a controversial news thing that got picked up by the news today that was basically about a pre-boarding scam at Southwest Airlines that we're going to be talking about today. If I'm sure, has anybody heard about that at all today? I'll give chat a chance to catch up. It even made it over to Reddit. It made kind of a yeah. It kind of made the way around the newsways today. Just wanted to talk about the good thing about it, the bad thing about it, and kind of get your guys' opinion on it. And then after we talk about that, we are going to be talking about the possibility of a product that I could be putting together, but I want to talk about the product, discuss the product with everyone, and see if it's something that you guys think that the wheelchair community would be interested in buying. I think it is because I have yet to see anything on the market like it. So I'm thinking it could be something that could serve quite a bit of people. I would have to learn about doing some customizations for other wheelchairs besides Promobile. But yeah. Yeah, see, I figured a lot of people haven't heard about it. You didn't hear about the, yeah, I feel like a lot of people didn't hear about the Southwest thing. So we'll talk about that here in a moment. I'm going to do a quick poll on chat as soon as I remember where the poll is. Okay, give me 1 second here. Got to add a little something into the poll. And we'll get a vote here in a few minutes. And give me 1 more second. Got to make sure I'm not misspelling anything and, you know. Oh my gosh. See? That's what happens when I don't, you guys like these streams where I don't prepare, but what happens is then I do spelling mistakes. Okay. Question, the poll is now up. Do you use a cup holder? And specifically, do you use a cup holder on your wheelchair? That is the poll that I need people to vote on. My microphone seems a little quiet today. What about now? Is that better? Is that better? In all seriousness, I did turn up the volume on it right now. I'm checking. I don't see that it's been turned down or anything. Let me check out the properties of it real quick. I'm not seeing anything that should be making it quiet. Hold on, I'm just double checking everything here. Like, how quiet is it? Like, almost too quiet, or it's not bad? I'll turn it up just a little bit. Let me know if that's Let me know if that's any better. I am a little bit further away from the mic today, so maybe that's why. Welcome in, Timster. So right now we're doing two different things. We have a poll about the whether or not use a cup holder on your wheelchair. So that's a yes/no question on the poll, and then we're going to dig into the the controversial Southwest pre-boarding scandal. People are calling it pre-boarding scam. So I guess we'll go with pre-boarding scam, but that's kind of why we went with the title, pre-boarding scam. So I'm not going to be, I'll let you guys find the original person that was tweeting about this on Twitter. I'm not going to be putting this person's information into the stream at all, just because, I don't know. I don't feel like I don't want to jump into a Twitter controversy, but I just want to talk about it as a whole from like the disabled point of view about what kind of effect this kind of situation has. So I'm going to kind of have an article that's going to kind of be going off of talking about exactly what happened. And then you guys can then chime in and kind of go from there. Oh, Mike Z with the cup holders on two different things. Nice. Okay. All right. This is good. This is why I'm getting these votes in now. So when we get to talking about the potential product development I might be working on, it might be something that you guys would be interested in. So does the strap on my seat cushion that a coffee fits in perfectly count as a cup holder? I mean, it's a cup holder technically, so I'm not going to say no to that. Yeah. All right, let's dive into this news story, shall we? I guess, what the hell? Maybe we just need to jump into it like fully so you guys can actually see the actual like conversation about it. I guess, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and share a screen, and then that way we can just talk about it. So give me 1 second here. Let me move this to a screen that I don't mind sharing. So, you know, I don't dox myself, which I do on a regular basis on a live stream. Okay. This is probably not the best news source for this, but it's good enough for what we're doing here. Okay. This is, ignore from where this is from. It doesn't really matter. There's some articles all over the place about this. So, pre-boarding scam. Customers furious at Southwest Airlines after 20 passengers asked for an assistance to basically ask for a wheelchair assistance support. So, basically, a Southwest Airlines passenger in Florida went viral after he posted a picture of 20 passengers that requested wheelchair assistance for boarding, yet only 3 of them needed accommodation to get off the airplane. So on the other end, I think these people may have like, I don't know, walked off the airplane on their own or whatever it may be. And basically this guy sent the thing, and Southwest responded like, hey, we're very sorry for any disappointment. We work hard to maintain the integrity of the boarding process and provide appropriate accommodations for all that fly. Since many disabilities aren't visible, we aren't able to ask the questions of the validity of pre-boarding requests. And basically, after this basically happened, and he did this tweet, it kind of went viral. This person started talking about it, and it went viral, and started people talking about it, and it's getting to the point to where it gets a little bit more complicated. Like there's somebody that got angry about, the wheelchair scam continues as a family of C boarding pre-board when grandma to sit in a wheelchair, not a whole family gets to accompany her. Well, in fairness to something like that, is sometimes the airlines will allow whoever's accompanying that passenger with them because maybe they need assistance on the other end to get out of their chair and into the airplane, because majority of us need assistance on the other end of getting in and out of our chairs. And in order to do that, we need, somebody to help us get down in there and get in, getting out of our chair. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up, and there's like tons of people talking about people taking advantage, and basically according to the Southwest policies, customers who require assistance must identify themselves needing a wheelchair assistance upon arriving to the airport, which we all do when we travel, right? We all go to the airport, we're like, hey, I need assistance. So Let's see if this goes right to this person's Twitter. I think it does. I don't know if it's going to let us see some of it. Yeah. So this is the picture of that was talked about on the news, and all the news shared it, and basically show lined up of all these people pre-boarded on the airplane, getting on before everyone else. So basically taking advantage of the situation of people in wheelchairs get pre-boarded. But this kind of reminds me of the Disney scam. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Disney scam at all, but there was families that were buying disabled Disney passes on eBay or different places, which obviously affects people. Yeah, right? Exactly. The plane doesn't leave on time anyways. But just think about it, these people are buying handicap passes for Disney on eBay, which obviously people shouldn't have been selling them in the first place. That's just as bad. But then Disney's like, well, we're no longer doing that. Like if you show up and you need, accessibility at Disney, sorry, we don't do that anymore. You got to wait in line like everyone else, which is fine. But then I feel like two things are going to happen because of this. Yeah, exactly. You think this kind of abuse of accommodation would go against people's morals, Chris? You would think they'd be like, oh, well, morally, that's so wrong. Yeah, it is morally wrong. People should not be doing this, but people find a loophole or whatever that's meant to accommodate, the disabled population, and people take advantage of it. But two things are going to happen because of this. I feel that due to the virality of this situation and it being picked up by the news and all this stuff, is now I feel like that if any of us ever go to the airport and we're in our chair or waiting in a chair to get on the airplane, somebody's going to come to us like, do you really need that? Like, it's going to become like harassment, which that doesn't do anybody any good. Like, what does that do? But at the same time, there does, and I agree with some of the things that, some of the people have been saying in this, is to basically to help, keep the scam from happening and people doing the scamming of the system, is maybe there needs to be a national thing where they add something to everyone's driver's license that said, yes, this is an accommodation that they need, because obviously they have to check the ID at airports. And I think there's no set federal standard to that, except for if somebody says, hey, I need it, they can't ask, prove it, show me your disability. Same thing when you go to a hotel and you need a room that's disabled. They can't come up to you and say, oh, well, you need to prove it that you're actually disabled and you need this room. They can't legally do that. So it's like, how do we fix this legal gray area to keep it from people abusing the system? But at the same time, it's like, why does this really matter? Right? So fine, these people get on the airplane before you. Well, who cares? Southwest doesn't have assigned seats anyways. So who gives a crap? Like, as Dan was saying, you're going to get on the airplane. You got to wait a few more, 5-10 more minutes, for these people to get on there before you. What does it matter? Like, it matters to the point, sure, people are abusing the system. Like, that part of it matters. I'm not saying that. But why does it matter? I don't know. I see both sides of it. It's a very touchy subject. And I don't want to create controversy of anything that I'm saying. So if I say anything that somebody doesn't agree with, I apologize. I'm not here to disagree or agree with the situation. It's a situation that I agree with, that it needs to be discussed as far as what can we do to make it so this kind of thing doesn't happen, while still respecting the rights of disabled individuals, where people aren't going to be like, prove that you're disabled. It seems like that could be a necessary evil, but likely would get still abused. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. I never like talking about controversial subjects, especially on a recorded YouTube video. One, feel like I might actually say the wrong thing, or two, taking the wrong side. But it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is kind of a little crazy. But at the same time, the amount of abuse is crazy. And I feel like if it was something that we like all rolled up there and we had our chairs, would they be like, oh, I really don't need this? They would have that moral guilt and like get out of the chairs. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Fort Connects is saying I had to wait online 3 times to get verified Disney, and still have to wait an hour at Disney guest service when I arrive at Disney. Yeah. I guess on Southwest without a assigned seat, I could see people wanting to work the system. Okay, so yeah, you're totally right, totally normal. So because they don't have assigned seats, I could say that this is an unfair advantage. And that's why people are doing we'll call it the pre-boarding loophole or scam, is people are like, hey, there's not assigned seat. So if we say that we need a wheelchair, we'll get the seat that we want. Which is just, and that's the whole controversy. And it's not right. But it's, and some of the comments that this person came up with that did this first post had ones that didn't necessarily work. Like I've seen, like I said, I'm not even going to read his comments and going back and forth because it's going to get controversial. But there's some things that the person said that I can kind of agree with, and other things I disagree. But one thing we can globally all agree on, I think, is that if people are scamming the system to get advantage and take advantage of a situation that's meant to help those in need, that's messed up. Morally, it's wrong. The question is, how do we fix it? And that's the part where, yeah, maybe they need to show their like parking pass but then not all disabilities require a handicap parking pass. So, because there's going to be some of those, invisible disabilities that we can't see that they might not be able to get a parking pass for. As long as you have a handicap sticker, I think that should be all you need. Yeah, I think that's one way around it, but I do feel like I said, some people with, invisible disabilities might not be able to get one. But I don't know. It's tough. I had to wait online. Oh yeah, you had to go get a physical pass. That's so crazy for Canucks. You even had to go through that. Well, honestly, disabled parking permits exist, and if those require proof, so yeah, maybe general physical disability card. Yeah, I mean, we already have to go and get that in order to prove we're disabled to get a parking pass, right? And that's nationwide. Like, you want a parking pass, you have to show a doctor's letter, whatever it is you need to show that you're disabled in order to get a parking pass. And even if, let's say, and also handicap parking passes are given out for people to have surgeries, stuff like that. I just worry about those that maybe have invisible disabilities that we can't see, and they might need it sometimes, but not all the time. Or an elderly person might have hip, or even an older person might have hip issues. There's so many different things. In Pennsylvania, parking placard comes with an accompanied ID card. Ooh, I do like that, Tim, so that they have that, because I can't tell you how many times that people are getting a hold of parking passes, and yet, like, there's not like an ID or something that matches to it. Sure, it matches to the vehicle, but unless there's like parking enforcement involved, people aren't going to be, being able to check on it. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to me so we can clear that off the screen. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the thing I don't like about this whole situation that's controversial is that people then are blaming the airlines and saying, well, I'm not going to fly with you, but this isn't the airline's fault. The airline has nothing to do with people taking advantage, whether it be like Delta, American. If people say like, hey, I need assistance in boarding, it doesn't matter what airlines they are. It's still people will still take advantage of the system. So blaming the airlines and saying the airline needs to fix it, yes and no. I mean, sure, the airlines can, but they also can't just go up and ask somebody, hey, are you truly disabled? So there needs to be find a middle ground that, one, keeps people from scamming it, and then two, also protects those individuals with our disability rights. Or any restriction on your ID card. Yeah, like a certain restriction they could add on to, because we all switched over to the real ID pretty much everywhere nationwide, or that we should be. So why can't they just add something on the back of that? Which, at the same time, the reason why they probably can't do it on an ID that I bring up again, some people have temporary disabilities that might need assistance, where they had surgery on their leg or ankle or foot or hip, or anything that would limit their ability to walk down and get onto an airplane safely. Or they're on medication that keeps them from being able to walk without, being steady on their feet. That's the thing. I feel like there's so many other like uses of people in chairs for airplanes that it doesn't always necessarily have to be a disability related thing. Does that make sense? Like, some people are going to have temporary disabilities. So it's the same in California for the ID card with the parking. Okay. I can see some doctors that sell parking passes. Yeah, honestly, I remember there was a controversy even a few months ago. There was people that were selling parking passes like on like Craigslist and like eBay and stuff. People were trying to buy stuff. According to DV, it's not with the vehicle, it's with the individual. Oh, I thought it was connected to like individual vehicle. You're right. It is done to the person. You're right. Um, if I came up to a gate and saw a line like that, I would refuse to get on the plane until every other person had already boarded. I don't want to be grouped in that mess, right? It was like, oh man, it's like, but I've been on a few flights where it's been like that though, like many, many years ago. This is like, pre-pandemic time. You're not on the real ID yet. Okay. Yeah, and I agree with Chris on that statement. It's like it makes no sense to have beef with the airline over that. It's not an airline Southwest only policy. It is a whether you're at a hotel, restaurant, they can't go up to you and say, "Oh, you need to prove your disability." Like if you ask for reasonable accommodations, like hotels, airlines, they can't do that. So I don't know. I totally understand why the people are angry that these people are getting on the airplanes before them, but even I feel like that people prior to this were even getting angry, maybe sometimes about people that have the need to get on the airplane before them, but maybe they haven't. But I feel like that was something that we ran into quite a bit when I traveled when I was younger. Somebody said basically charge an extra, which is kind of like, yeah, so we're disabled to get charged this extra. That doesn't make a lot of sense either. Um, let's see. It makes sense. Yeah, was that cup holder discussion? I was late. No, you're not late to that discussion. That's just a voting thing that I started because I have a potential product development that I want to talk to everyone about and see if it's something you guys would be interested in and what you would pay for it. So no, you are not too late. Um, let's see. Well, here's somebody posted an interesting fix, which I think could maybe be a fair thing. It is basically anyone boarding in a wheelchair needs to basically leave in a wheelchair. Like if you need a wheelchair on one end of the flight and you ordered one that on the other end, there needs to be one. Like you have to go out in the chair, which kind of makes sense. Basically, like, hey, if you requested us to get you all the way here to the gate and you came in a wheelchair, when you get off the airplane, you need to do the same thing. Maybe. That's another situation that makes me wonder what after common decency exactly. To get on state and federal disability proof is required. I don't know. It seems like there's already a sort of structure in place for granting disabilities of sort. Parking permits, wheelchair user parking. Yeah. No, I mean majority of would not be offended, but there's always those, few people that are easily going to be offended by maybe being asked like, hey, new policy in federal government is show your ID that says that, or show your, what like a federal mandated card. Leave it up to the doctors. Yeah, I think that would help too. And a lot of people are talking about like make them wait to be the last ones off. And honestly, most people that request a chair are the last ones off the airplane. Like if my power chair, for example, I would go all the way down the end of the thing, get on the airplane first, and then I would be, um, I have to wait. Everyone gets off the airplane, and I got to wait till to bring my wheelchair back up in order for me to get back on the airplane. Which I know this is a different situation because this is basically um, wheelchairs that are already um, in place or at the airport. So I know it's a little different than those of us flying with our own wheelchairs. But that's just, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My biggest whole thing, like I said, about this, I'm glad this is being um, brought up, but at the same time, I feel like it's very controversial. There's not really, there's some good fixes and some that aren't, but as long as it get to the point where people are starting to get harassed and questioning whether or not you have a disability, that's where I don't want it to go at the society level, because that's, like I said, can bring negative impacts all around. I don't use a cup holder because it will jam the door when I open the door and close. Okay. But maybe if you had a cup holder that was on the side of your chair, maybe it wouldn't get jammed. Maybe that's a possibility. I guess some people identify as disabled as needed. Yeah. And wait for them to find the aisle chair. I've waited 90 minutes before. Seriously. Is this a local thing or a nationwide issue? This was from Fort Lauderdale, so Florida, I believe is where that picture was from. But I think it's a nationwide issue everywhere. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I said, any airline, it's pretty much going to be the same, I feel like. Because regardless of, the seats or not, yeah, they're going to have to pre-board because of it takes extra assistance to get in and out of the chair. Yeah, like I said, my biggest fear is the people with hidden disabilities, maybe have a bad back or something like that. They're going to be accused of, like, and the whole thing happened to Disney already. And families were buying the disabled placards online for Disney passes, and then ruined it for everyone to where now Disney doesn't do that anymore. Yeah, I could see that, Chris. What you told you was saying basically to do an aisle chair. Yeah, I mean, if somebody had to actually wait to use the chair to need the aisle chair, there's no way they'd go through with it. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm good." Like make them wait for it. But see, but not everyone needs an aisle chair, so it's that weird gray area. All right, let's take a look at the poll here. I think we've had enough time letting this bad boy run. Let's check out the poll result. Wow. A 57% of you said no to using a cup holder. Now, for those of you that have voted no, I would like to know why. What are the reasons why? Besides, I think Tim's already said that basically the doorway was an issue. But what is the main reason why those of you that said no, you don't use a cup holder, is keeping you from using a cup holder on your chair? That's the question I have for you in chat. My new beef is with store install barrier bar to entrance and exit to prevent thieves. Oh, is that like a new thing that's going on? Like what kind of like barrier bar? Like kind of like a subway kind of thing? You gotta like walk through the metal gate? They force everyone leaving the hospital to ride the chair. That's true. Doors and interferes with Hank. Ooh, I did not think about interference with that. I never thought about it. Yeah, and Fort Knox, that's crazy that they're putting those rotating metal bar things inside the stores all over it. Some point in time, you'll have to send me a photo of that. I'd like to see that and see what it is they're doing. That'd be very interesting. Oh, never mind. I already have that brought to you by Totally Normal. Here's an example for those of you in chat trying to figure out what Fort Canucks is talking about. Dan was kind enough to put something together here. There you go. These bad boys. So what would happen? Like, so if somebody was stealing something, would they like click a button and then like make those lock? I guess. Like, what's the? I mean, because I feel like a criminal, if they really wanted to, could kind of jump over that, maybe they wouldn't. But I feel like if you're a criminal and you're robbing the place anyways, you're gonna kind of jump right over that or some form of that. Interesting. And get me to the play door and I can wobble down the aisle. There you go. My cup holder pops in and out less than a second. Ooh, removable cup holder. Well, my design is definitely not removable quickly, but it might be something that could become a quickly removable product. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm having a technical difficulty. Give me 1 second. Okay, back. Sorry about that. There was a technical difficulty that was going on that I needed to deal with. Just need to deal with one more thing. And yes, John, I see that message. If everyone's wondering what is rycandoit drinking, it is tea. Well, welcome in, Carl. Give me 1 second here. I was really hoping that there would be no interruption, but give me one more second. I did not have my phone on me. And yeah, I need to make sure I took care of that before that happened. Okay. All right. So yeah, so this is very interesting in Canada that they're putting those up, blocking people for, trying to stop, criminals and whatnot. That's very interesting. Very interesting. I gotta go. All right. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And yeah, so yeah, thank you for bringing that. And Carl, welcome in, sir. We were talking about which I don't know if you saw this or not. There is basically what they're calling the pre-boarding scam, where 20 passengers asked for wheelchair assistance to board an airplane in, I think it was in Florida somewhere. There's a picture of quite a bit of people sitting on the ground, wanting to basically get, available seating. I guess so. Let me show this. I'm not really describing this very well. So all these people in one airlines all requested wheelchair assistance to get on the airplane. And when the airplane landed, only 3 people got off in chairs. The rest of the people walked off the airplane just fine. And the reason why people were doing it is they were basically scamming, the system, basically by doing pre-boarding, because if you're a disabled or a wheelchair user, you get on the airplane before everyone else. They're kind of taking advantage of that. So that's the conversation that you missed earlier. We were trying to figure out what is the solution for this, which is a tough one because you can't go up and say, hey, are you really disabled, and you have to prove you're disabled. Like, that's not something that can be done. But then what can be done, because there are so many different type of disability needs out there that some people might need a chair temporary. They had knee surgery or ankle surgery, or they might have a hidden disability where maybe they only need it at certain times if their back is acting up, or they, there's so many variables with this. It's really tough. We're talking about maybe doing like a federal ID thing, parking thing. Yeah. So any of you are new to the episode here, that's what we were talking about. So, and then we started talking about basically these bad boys happening in Canada, and all the stores and stuff now. They're basically keeping thieves from stealing stuff, which is great. But then because of that, we're limiting wheelchair accessibility. Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. And I mean, just even before even this kind of controversy came out or anything, I've been accused multiple times of saying that, oh, I'm not disabled because they look at me and they're like, oh, you look fine. It's like, well, that's, yeah. So people, I feel like, have a pre-judgment about things before they actually, dig into it. So that's basically that conversation. And if you want to get my thoughts on it stuff, that's in the beginning of the stream. I'm not gonna probably go back and repeat too much more of that. But it's a very interesting thing because it's something that needs to be resolved because people can't keep scamming the system. But then what is the resolve to make it where we still respect people's rights? So now let's talk about the next subject, product development. And that's why I was asking you guys all about, would a cup holder, or do you use a cup holder? And then also I asked you why, those of you that said no, why you don't. So give me a second here. All right, you're gonna laugh at this picture, but this picture at least gets the point across is what the device is used for. All right, so okay. Many of you have asked before, either on, if any of you are from Totally Normal stream when you started following me, there's always been a question like, where did that arm come from and what is that arm? Who makes that arm? I want one of those arms, etc., etc. People have commented and asked about because it's, a metal arm that not only can provide a cup holder, but it can also be a GoPro mount. And you could also add a quarter 20 mount to it if you really wanted to. And you can add a cell phone mount on it. Like, you can kind of get all the mounts you want. I love the photo. It's quite hilarious. But the reason why I want to bring it up is I have the opportunity maybe to start developing a product just like this. Now, as you can see here, this product has the ability to turn on the pole. It can be adjusted at an angle here, an angle in the middle, and an angle here at the end, and then this part can be turned up and down. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is making a more straight version where it's just, it can turn right here, it can turn here, but then this part is just a straight piece. So it can easily have a cup holder on it, a GoPro mount. That way it doesn't articulate here, but I do know that everyone's position for a cup might not be here. They might want to have their cup over here where the GoPro is, or maybe they want their cup holder on the very end, depending on which way your body leans. So I wanted to kind of talk about, would anybody ever want an arm like this that basically attaches directly to your seat in like the track system? Allows you to easily remove it here, but then you still deal with this pull. Would anybody have an interest in something like that? And oops, wrong thing. Wrong direction. That's the wrong direction too. Please hold. We're having technical difficulties again. I don't know why my computer decided that it wanted to do this. So give me 1 second. The one thing I didn't want to have happen happened. Like, how does that happen? That was a Windows, I don't know what Windows was doing in that situation. Okay. All right, back to the desktop. I apologize about that. Okay, so for example, this is the side of my two of my favorite things, the Laura and soccer, right? Yeah, it's totally your two favorite things there. All right, so back to this is my F3. So two things in this photo. One, this is actually kind of funny. This is for the leg pad. You can see what that happens to aluminum after 5 years taking a leg pad in and out. It gets a little bit, yeah. All right, anyways, so this is the way it mounts. I basically made this bracket here, custom bracket, is what I made, and I made the holes line up perfectly so it makes it into the track, and I can basically make it so it can go into all the different kinds of tracks. Now, this version has a big bolt in the middle that holds this on, and then 3 little bolts in the bottom to keep it from rotating. What I could do to make this removable is weld the bolt so it's on this bracket, and then basically you can thread this pipe on and off yourself. You literally, it's aluminum. You can twist it to loosen it, turn it right to tighten it, and then that way you can remove it when you need to drive. It'll be a long bolt sticking up probably, I don't know, probably up to here, like almost to the cushion height, like 3-4 inches. You got lots of thread, and you can like thread it on and off. So that way the bracket always stays permanently. Now everyone's like, well, wait, this is great and all, you have this bracket, but how is that going to fit on my chair? As far as width-wise, let me see if I have a photo. Here we go. This is the photo I wanted to show you. If you look straight down from where this bracket's sticking out, at least on my F3, it is no wider than the tire at all. So it doesn't affect any type of situation of you getting in and out of a doorway, clearing the doorway. I am going to make it a little bit smaller, maybe not have this excess metal here, so it can be a little bit more adjustable. But I don't know, what do you guys think of having something like this that could maybe have this pull be removable? It's something that I'm coming up with and wanting to see if there's an interest in doing it. Because I can get these brackets made, and this product itself is a pre-existing product that I can purchase. It's basically a very large computer monitor arm. And it comes in different sizes. Like this is 24 inches. They also have one that's 36 inches. So a much taller, pull for those that are taller than I am. Or if you have a tall cushion. So, does anybody have any thoughts? Is this something you guys would ever pay for to have something like that mounted to your chair? That could be removable, if it could be removed right there at that point. And when it's on your chair, if you need it out of your way, you just push it with your hand and the whole thing just swings out of the way. Or you can even swing it all the way around and have it go on the other side of your armrest. I was trying to come up with a thought of a product that would be something that I could put together for people that would have an interest in, yeah. What are your guys' thoughts? Tough crowd tonight. Either that or chat stopped working. One of the two has happened. Let me switch back to me here. Because maybe chat did stop working. Let's take a look. Because chat does break quite often. Now everyone's thinking. It looks like my just chatting has broke itself. Because there it goes. This is very delayed today. Then I was curious, like, what, if people would pay. Wanzo, does that mean you would pay $0 for it? Is that what you mean by that? Greg's thinking about, I was like, how could I maybe use this? Good idea, but not for me. Fair. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing. No. Thinking processing working. I do like that you're giving me all your step-by-step of your thoughts, sir. I appreciate that. It really lets me know how you're processing. That's pretty awesome. I'm currently in the middle of an expensive experiment with stuff from RAM. See, that's the thing. RAM is super expensive. I mean, my thought process is getting this thing down to like, if it can be made like with what I'm thinking quickly and down to like almost like one time like $65. That would be my thought process as far as like financial cost of what it would cost. Between the 65 to no more than 100, just because it won't just be like a one-time thing. But these obviously be something that would be remade with different materials and from a manufacturer, so it actually would be real lightweight aluminum and be a lot more simpler than that. But yeah, RAM mounts are very expensive, but they do have good cell phone holders. I'll give you that. And one of the other things why people might not like it too, or depending on the RAM thing, is when you go um, up and down, it's something that, you know, it stays with you because it's connected to your seat, which is kind of nice and negative too. You want an attachment for a desktop and mouse. I mean, if you could get a like a small desktop, a monitor, and like you could probably almost put like a platform on that and put it like at lap level. Probably not something I would use. The Frodo arm, but too bulky. Is the Frodo arm an existing arm, sir? Is that an existing product? I honestly did no research before bringing this up. I just figured, hey, let's just throw this out there and see what people think. Oh, you're talking about for your cell phone attachment. That would be a great price point. I think it would be a pretty good price point for sure. A hood, keyboard, and mouse setup for PC use. So basically, you want like a keyboard and mouse, like a flat tray in front of you. You could put a keyboard and mouse on, or would have that built in. I guess I was trying to figure out what you mean by that. I apologize. What you mean by a good keyboard mouse setup? Oh, you're saying good. I gotcha. I'm afraid to have my cell phone mounted to my chair because someone might snatch it. And that's one thing about the cell phone attachment I am using is the way it's tucked in there. There's no way it's going to move. Okay. I know she's conserving, but she knows me, and no matter what we do, it's never action. The Manfrotto Magic Arm Kit. Okay. Wanzo, what's the price of something like this? That's what I'd like to know. Professional Magic Arm Kit, Super Construction. Yeah, no, it's a pretty sweet little thing. Just what does it cost is the question. And I'm assuming then you use this not just for your cell phone, but also for your cup holder as well. But I totally know what you mean, Mike C. Let me see if I can pull up my mount that I use off of Amazon. That makes it a little bit harder for somebody to steal. So this whole entire mount setup is 100-ish. And I'm assuming then you use this clamp here, or this clamp, sorry, right here, to connect it to the chair somewhere, and then you can just remove it. So clamp when you need it, and take it off. Yeah, camera. So now could it support something as heavy as like 32 ounces of water? I mean, I guess that's kind of the thing versus like what mine is basically, okay, this has a 3 kilogram payload. So what's that in standard? Let's see what that is in standards here. So basically that can hold up to 6 pounds. So versus what I'm putting together is capable of handling up to 25. Which not saying that anyone needs 25-pound capable arms under chairs, but it's just a little bit more of a heavy duty thing. Oh, you currently use it a 1/4-20. Gotcha. You have a 1/4-20 somewhere in your chair. I got you. All right, let me see if I can find that product. Might see to what I use. So you can kind of see the cell phone mount. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it here. I gotta type it in with the quarter 20. Because it is a quarter 20 mount, but it also has rubber on it. To where it can't budge once it's tightened in there. And somebody would have a hell of a time trying to steal it. I mean, not saying it's not possible, but I feel like with how tightly this holds into phone, it'd be really hard for that to happen. All right, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Found it. I will put it into I will copy the link here and give you guys the short version of it. Okay, I don't know where the share link went on Amazon, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. Sorry about the delay there. There you go. This is the cell phone holder I use. And once you screw that thing down on tension with these rubber pads right there, you can't get your phone out of there. Like, it holds onto it super tightly. And it comes in multiple colors, and it's only like $14.99 or so. It's made by Ulanzi. It's Ulanzi. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy. Oh, here's the share link. I'm like, where'd the share link go? All right, I will go ahead and put this in chat for everyone. If anybody's interested in a really nice quarter 20 mount. Yeah, I found that this brand is some of the best clamps that there is. I custom made a cup holder mount that goes with my armrest. Really, I say for like a lot of people do. 32-ounce drink is about 1 kilogram. Okay, so that makes sense. Why I can handle like 6 freedom units, right? 25 pounds would be good to game on, which would tilt with you. Yeah, so maybe instead of it being a monitor mount or a drink mount or cell phone mount, you want something you can do with a desk. Okay. I use one of those computer arm mount to mount my CPAP to the trapeze bar on my bed. Ooh, that's actually pretty smart there, Mike. See, I never thought about doing that with a CPAP. I never thought about that. That makes total sense. Because like a CPAP weighs, less than 25 pounds for sure. Yeah. Well, this is good. This is good feedback. So basically, what I'm hearing is make this metal arm for me work for me, but probably not something that people are going to be buying up and selling. But maybe something for Gray can get. We can do a custom made version of it with a different metal arm that would basically accommodate like a gaming desk. You could put like a keyboard, mouse on, and a monitor, like all in one, so you could like tilt back. The hardest part is going to be keeping the monitor and all that weight coming forward and hitting you in the chest. It'd have to be like a permanent mount where you would be able to adjust it forward or backwards. At least not on like a cylinder type of surface. Maybe something that's geared, maybe. I can kind of visualize that now, though. That makes sense. Yeah, I think Mike C wins the award for the best use of computer mounts. Maybe I get second place for using it as a water holder / cell phone holder. But definitely using it for the CPAP thing, reading machine, that makes so much sense. Especially for like tight spaces where you don't have, or those medical beds or whatever, and it tells you, give you a spot to put it. Yeah, now do you keep it below your head or above your head, Mike C? The reason why I'm asking is that sometimes if we do it the wrong way, the water can come down the hose and like into our, as we're trying to breathe at night. Nothing like drowning in your own breathing machine. The monitor is on a pole mounted to the floor. Ah, okay, Craig. So you just want something just for keyboard and mouse. Like a flat table on your lap that can be adjusted. Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be something you could easily come up with or be able to modify this arm to fit what you need it for. Let me pull up the link to that arm. So then that way you guys can have that as well. Because it is a pretty cool, product. It is available in 2 different colors for those of you that are watching the stream and are curious. Of course, they have to charge more for certain colors, which I don't understand why. Okay, let me go ahead and I will put this, I will share the screen here with everyone. Okay, there we go. So this is the Wall E blah blah blah, and I just realized that needs to not be on the screen because I just read the wrong one. But regardless, there you go, $25. Amazon link is in the description there. Put it in the wrong screen again. That's the 3rd time I've done that today. I feel like I'm having one of those like screaming days where I do it completely wrong. All right, now we can actually show screen properly. So it's up to, this one's up to 22 pounds. They have a bigger model that can do more, but this is basically what I'm using. And instead of the clamp style, I basically modified one of the other brackets that it came with to this one. See, it already comes with a bracket under the bottom, very similar shape to what it is we need, and I just basically adjust it and make it fit Permobiles. So yeah, so if anybody's interested in getting this, it is also available in white, and I think it's something that could be good for mounting a tray on or anything you'd ever want to mount anything on. You could probably use it for that as well. So it's not just yeah, it can kind of be whatever you want. So there you go. So $32 for that one, $25 for black. There you go. It was blocked by my head, by the way. Yeah, but there's one part of the screen that wasn't blocked that should have been, but it is what it is. Hopefully my head blocked what I was not wanting to show. I mean, I already wrote down that timestamp, so I'll make sure and remove it. Okay, let's see. Sorry, it looks like I have missed those messages, sir. Let me switch back here, switch screen so I don't dox anybody, and I just saw your Twitter messages. Thank you for oh dang, look at you, man. You've been sending me all kinds of messages. Might help if I'm paying attention, right? My bad, sir. I think, give me 1 second. Let me get these photos. Give me 1 second there. Thank you for sending these, sir. Are any of these 3D printed? And I know you guys could have no idea what I'm talking about because you guys can't see it. But I'm just asking Mike, see what the status is of that. All right. Thank you, sir. And I think somebody else sent me a message as well. Okay. All caught up on messages here. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Is there a way to make the message really big on Twitter? Is that possible? I'm having some difficulties here. I guess we're gonna do one image at a time. Chrome with flashing lights, yeah. A Wally post mount for a laptop is what I used with Slate. Oh, all right. So you're already kind of using that anyways. That makes sense. Okay. All right, here's the first one from Mike, and it looks like this is just attached to, I'm assuming, is that your thigh pad? Or is that your headrest that's attached to? Little clarity on that one. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna try to do it without the snipping tool. There's snipping tool, oh my gosh. The snipping tool. Here it is on Quantum. Now, I'm assuming it's a stock Quantum cup holder that comes with it that looks like it's removable, so you can take it kind of on and off when you want it. That's actually pretty cool. I could see that being very helpful and being, hopefully they sell that in multiple sizes just to make it so people that have different bottles or different sizes could be able to take advantage of that. It's a very interesting choice with the CPAP, sir. That is, oh, it's a leg pad. Okay. So this is what Mike C is using for his setup. Dude, that works really well. Basically, just clamp that on, and it hangs over there, and then there you go. And then that's, and then the hose goes up, and then comes back down, so that way the water doesn't drown you. Sweet. I like that, dude. That's great. That's a really good use of products there. And it's just a clamp basically around that. Nice, dude. One left. I know I could have done the snipping tool, probably would have been faster, but you know, it's okay. But yeah, just the way that's clamped on the bed, and then to have this special clamp, it's like a flat laptop stand to put your breathing machine on. That's perfect. And it keeps it out of the way, and then you don't have to have like extra tables and stuff around, which is super awesome. Cool setup, dude. And a good use of the metal arms and stuff. Yeah, I like that. That's sweet. So yeah, I think we all kind of have our own little different things. The things that we use at work, stuff like that. I've used a can to 32 ounce drinking quantum. Wow, it can accommodate that many different sizes. Does it stretch out at all or have some bendability? Is that how that works? I really like some of that Manfrotto stuff that Wanzo was talking about earlier as well. They do seem like they have really nice products, and looks like they even have some that are made out of carbon fiber, which would be kind of nice. Keep it light. But yeah, I think we're all gonna have to kind of basically, when it comes to cup holders and things, it's gonna be kind of what works for you, because we all have our different needs and different, you know, some of us drive, some don't. How's the new chair? I have been in it now. Let's see. 3 days ago is when I started. I've been in it almost like all day. It's going okay. My body is getting used to it, but I'm still having some issues. So I'm gonna have to probably still. I'm gonna have to probably alternate. I'm probably gonna have to alternate chairs still. I don't think it's something I can. Um, so that way I can, yeah, be able to. Sorry, gotta Get back that person here shortly. I guess I actually forgot a couple of. Can I change my vote? Yes, you can change your vote. That's fine. You have one. Still waiting for the color reveal. You haven't seen the color of it yet? Mike, see you missed the color reveal? Well, looking for you, sir. I have photo. Oh, the color. Oh, you're talking about the wrap color. That's still. If that's what you're talking about, that has still not been done yet. I've been having some different caregiving issues going on that have kept me from being able to go over to the vinyl wrap person. So I'm assuming that's what you're asking about, right, Mike? Are you asking about the vinyl wrap? Or are you actually talking about the color of the chair? Yeah, wrap. Yeah, it hasn't been wrapped yet. Almost. Soon. Happening soon. I have to take every single body panel off. And now since I'm in it most of the day, I just have to basically pick a day, switch back to the old chair, and then have the guy wrap these panels. I just need to show up there and ask what it's going to cost and get it done. So, which I already have one quote, but I want to see if I can get another another opinion and get like a cheaper quote is what I'm hoping for. But new chair, I know Wanzo doesn't mean how it is overall. Overall, it's good. Suspension is the same. It just feels the same. My seat is a little bit more forward because of the molded backrest than what I like. It's impossible to use when I'm sitting here at the computer. It's killing my back. It's not very comfortable to use at the computer at all. It makes it very difficult. It's difficult for the caregivers to get me in and out with a sling. I can't get into car with it without making the seat completely flat, and even when I do that, I have less than a half inch between my head and the top of the door. And then once I'm inside the car, I literally see out the blue part of the windshield. A lot of it has to do with the ride cushion. I swear it's got to be at least in the back, almost, I don't know, I'd say maybe 6.5 inches tall. And that basically sits me up that much further than what I'm used to where I'm not fitting in the car. So yeah, I fit in the car, but it's just not as comfortable. I don't feel supported. The backrest doesn't go up past my shoulders. So I don't know. We'll see. I might end up going back to a different backrest and then trying to use the rib killers. If many of you know what I'm talking about, the things that hold you in on your sides. So we'll see. I'm going to try to give it another couple days and weeks and really just try it and figure out what I can accommodate to make it better. But I mean, if it's hurting me to even use the computer, it's kind of something's got to give. I gotta, like, I can go to get my body back a little bit, but in order for me to use my mouse, I need to have my arm off the armrest. So I can't keep my back inside the contour backrest when have my hand on here. So yeah, makes things a little bit of a challenge. So yeah, so I think that's kind of what we had to talk about today. Unless everybody else has got anything else you guys want to bring up or mention about wheelchairs, wrapping wheelchairs, color wheelchairs. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Maybe. Just kidding. But yeah, but thank you for everyone for being honest about the whole arm thing and figuring out if it'd be something you guys would actually purchase or would actually use, and finding out that it's not something that's really feasible because everyone, like I said, does it differently on your chair. Some of you guys, all use different things. So I definitely appreciate the honesty with that, because that helps me figure out, is it something that would actually be a usable product, or no, I'm going to do my own thing. Which looks like the majority of you are doing your own thing, which I think, unfortunately, is the kind of the way we go. So you need a top on that bar. Yes, I think I could do that. I think I can come up with some sort of top to put on top of the bar to make it so it can be like an arm, like I'd be able to put my like a flat table, like a butcher block. I know what you mean. You woke up this morning to 7 orders for those quantum bypass cables. Ooh, yes, bypass cables. But you should put your link into chat, sir. You know, gotta get you some more sales. And that maybe you don't want more, but maybe you do. Let's see. Oh, I found it. Let's see if I can beat you for posting your own link. Ah, beat you to it. It's your turn. Well, you still got a link anyways. For all your awesome wheelchair needs, visit totallynormalshop.com. Perhaps supplying a mounting bracket that can accommodate mounts. Like what kind of mounting bracket? Like, are you talking like just a mounting bracket that could be attached to the side chair, like the bracket itself, and you kind of attach whatever you want to it? Like something that's already built in, that's like a 90-degree mount that fits right in the track, and you could like bolt something to? Is that what you're kind of thinking of there, Timster? Because I do have some interest of being able to go and make that, like make a bracket that's basically built into the track system that's made with aluminum, and then it can be modified to do whatever you want. So maybe that's something you guys are thinking about. Maybe. Pre-drilled brackets for the tracks. I got you. Yeah, I think that's something that I could easily put together and have pre-drilled metal aluminum brackets ready to go. That you just basically, it comes with the nuts and the bolts. You bolt it right on your track system. You can clamp on whatever you want to it. Yeah, I could totally get something like that put together. So kind of like Promobile 3G seating tracks or brackets to go right into the track. Yeah, totally. I think that'd be something we could easily put together. I don't think there's anybody that sells like an aluminum one of that. Is there? Is there like, I mean, I'm sure there's like a Body Point or somebody else to make. Yeah, with the T-nuts and everything. T-nuts and hardware. Yeah, I think that totally would be doable. I think a lot of people would buy that because don't forget with the 3G seating, there's all kinds of track spots. There's the track on the headrest, or the backrest, the sides. Yeah, Tipster, I think you're maybe onto something. Is there anybody that makes a bracket like that already? Does Body Point make a 90-degree bracket like that? I'm gonna see if there's a 90-degree Permobile bracket. Just curious if there is and what they charge for it. I don't know if that's actually a 90-degree Permobile mount. There's obviously a swing away mount. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody that makes something like that. That would be a 90-degree mount that's built in. I thought maybe Body Point or somebody would maybe supply a product like that. But I'm not seeing anything like that. Well, I'll do some more research on that and see if that's something that maybe that's something that could be, you know, put together. So especially if it can be mounted right on the side of the chair. Yeah, I wonder if even Ram Mount makes something like that. Yeah, I see Ram Mount has one that goes underneath the armrest, but nothing on for the side. Obviously plastic. So yeah, I'll do some research on it and see if I can find anyone. That's not Timster, I think you're onto something. Oh, wait. As a stream never fails, somebody quickly does the research and finds something. What do we have here? The Ram phone mount. Yeah, all right, let's take a look at this bad boy. Let me pull this up in a different browser so I can share my screen without doxing myself. Okay, universal for all wheelchairs and tracks, including infant care. How is it universal? But they don't even show the underside. Like that part, unless that part's adjustable, I don't know how that could fit multiple tracks. Okay. Yeah, see, it doesn't say what that fits into. But it does come with the T-nuts. And $145, yeah. I think if it could be like an aluminum bracket could be sold, it would just be, yeah, some 2020 brackets. The 2020 brackets kind of be something that would line up pretty easily. $2020 brackets. Now I wanna. I'm sure it's like a Home Depot purchase situation. 2020 brackets. I'm getting I'm not seeing. I'm assuming these are metal brackets. Maybe I'll type it in. Oh, aluminum extrusion corner brackets. Okay. I mean, you could go with something like. Oh, of course, that link didn't work. But something like this could work. Or. Here we go. Like these are aluminum, well, supposedly. That then could be, you could bolt to the track system. But. Or maybe he meant 80-20. Well, I mean, it's aluminum no matter what. But I think what Timster was saying is to have one that's already pre-done that fits specific tracks already. So one for Permobile, one for Quickie, like all the different track systems that are out there from all the manufacturers. It'd be kind of cool to have it already set. Because this even comes with the T-nuts. I don't know if these are the right size. I'd have to measure the Permobile track. I don't quite remember. I know White Raven probably has the measurements for it. I don't think he's online tonight. Well, that might work. But yeah, depending on the slot size, something like this would work. And there's all kinds of 2020 brackets and 80-20. So, yeah. I like it. 2020 series aluminum. I'm sure if we pop this right here into Amazon, I'm sure there's going to be lots of other results. So yeah, you got like all kinds of strange bracketry. The hard part though, like I said, is getting something that's going to be a substantial mount that can handle the weight of whatever you want to clamp on it. That's super strong. But interesting. For some reason, I don't know why I never thought of 2020. I've heard of 80-20, but never thought of 2020. But if it's something that fits into track, it might work. I will do some research and find out if some of these cheaper brackets and T-nuts fit in there. But I think having a much larger substantial that bolts in with 4 bolts into the 3G seating track would be kind of a good way to go. So, but regardless, I think it's just kind of there could be a need for metal brackets that can be bolted onto any of the different seating types. That way people can kind of do whatever they want. So maybe I will look into that. I will talk to my fabricator and see what something like that would cost to make multiple brackets, like, you know, just the brackets, not the whole metal arm part, and see what we can kind of get that cost to see if it's something to be feasible or not. Might not be financially feasible, but something I will be glad to look into. Yeah, it just depends on what you're holding up. Yeah, it depends on all the strength. Gotcha. Awesome. Well, I think I'm gonna start winding down the stream here. I'm gonna get some stuff done here before I head off to bed. Yeah, let's plan on doing this again next Wednesday. Hopefully, I have some interesting news coming up that I can't quite talk about yet. That should be interesting if it all goes through. Oh, one thing I did want to bring up in chat before we end the stream is my seat elevator has been denied by the insurance completely. So I need to figure out and basically fight them on paying for the seat elevator, because before I was told it was covered and told it was covered, but they came back and denied it. So I need to look up those Medicaid rules that got changed. I know each state mandates their own version of that Medicaid rule, but I want to use that, get some doctor's letters, and kind of fight for it, because it's something I've always had on all the chairs, so it's not like I've asked for it. So yeah, it is what it is, though. I don't mind fighting for what I believe is, an incorrect billing on their part. I think it should be covered. They covered it. They covered it last time. They covered it the time before that and the time before that. So it's not. It's just an extra fight on my part to have to do, just so I don't end up with a bill for it. So it is what it is. But just know that if that happens to you guys, just don't be afraid to go talk to your doctor and meet with some people and fight with it. Be like, yeah, no, that's going to be covered. So at least I have the chair. At least it's not something like they won't pay for it. We're not going to deliver your chair till you pay for it kind of situation. So I'm fortunate enough to have that part happen. But the company that I got the chair from, I'm worried about there going to be some issues with them in regards to it. So I'm going to do it on my own, contact the insurance, fight it, and then deal with that company on the side. So yeah, so that's the latest with the wheelchair. It's working great though. Like I said, I like it. Been using White Raven's 3D printed knob on it now. I finally got it installed and I love it. It's a super easy to control. Everything's good. One thing I have to tell you guys though, if any of you get a brand new F3 shipped to you, the indoor profile needs to be programmed. You will hurt yourself. If you're turned all the way up and indoor and you try to turn the chair right and you try to turn it left, I swear it took over 3 seconds for it to change directions to the point where you'd already be into a wall. So if any of you are getting new chairs soon, I highly recommend to at least try to make sure you have the person's delivering the chair program it, or have you in it to program to make sure you can drive it safely, as I had almost ran into the wall multiple times already. I think your insurance would be aware they paid that before and would do it. Yeah, you would think, Chris. I agree with you, but unfortunately, they don't look at it like that. So yeah, that would be nice if they looked at it that way. Well, I think it was a pretty good, productive conversation. I feel like we came up with some good ideas for maybe dealing with the pre-boarding scam. I know Disney's solutions for their issues haven't worked out well, so hopefully this will be handled in a way that won't turn into a Disney fiasco, or basically makes it impossible for anyone to actually need accommodations. So, yeah, hopefully that will be, yeah. So, anyways, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Everyone have a good, amazing rest of your week, and I will see everyone again here. I'm gonna maybe do an earlier time next week for those that are on the East Coast, and look and see in my schedule if I can make that happen with the caregiving schedule. If I can, I will do that. If not, it'll be the 7 p.m. time, and I'll try to post on the same day so you guys are aware when the stream is and when it is. So, anyways, everyone have a good night. Thanks for being here, and remember, if Ry can do it, so can you. All right, guys, take care.